Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to give you the essential insights you need, really helping you be genuinely well informed.
Yeah, getting straight to what matters.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into something really close to home, something that directly impacts your daily life, your community, right here in Southeast Texas.
hmm
We're focusing specifically on residents in Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena.
Right. So our source material for this dive, it's an email bulletin called Around TX-36.
Okay.
It's from Representative Brian Babin, dated August 24th, 2025.
Yeah.
And it basically outlines his activities during the August congressional recess.
Got it. So it's a direct look at what he was doing when Congress wasn't in session.
Precisely. A window into how that federal work is meant to connect back to, local stuff.
Okay, so our mission here is to unpack this bulletin. We want to pull out the key insights, the actionable information for you.
Yeah, show how decisions in Washington, or even just the focus of a representative, can have real ripple effects locally.
Exactly, how it touches our communities and how leaders say they're focusing on the unique needs, the strengths of our region. It's about empowering you in Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena to understand and then, well, think and act locally.
Okay, let's jump in.
So right at the start, Representative Babin says the August recess is a favorite time. He talks about being back home, meeting constituents, businesses, community leaders across the 36th district. What does that really tell us, that emphasis on being home, the face-to-face meetings?
Well, look, this recess period, it's not just downtime. It's framed as absolutely crucial for getting that direct feedback.
Okay.
Local input.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be where the Washington work gets grounded in what's actually happening.
All right, the local reality check.
Exactly. The bulletin specifically mentions Southeast Texas's leadership and values and positions his role as working for you in Washington.
So it's showing a direct line.
Yeah, it shows a clear effort to link what happens federally to local concerns and to show that what people care about here in places like Deer Park, LaPorte, Pasadena supposedly influences national priorities.
Interesting. Okay, so moving beyond just general constituent meetings, the bulletin gets into something really high profile for our area, leading the world in space.
Yes, NASA.
Huge point of pride around here, isn't it? What did the bulletin say about this?
It definitely is a big deal locally. It details a visit to NASA's Johnson Space Center, JSC, the heart of human spaceflight.
All right.
He was there with Acting Administrator and Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy. That's an interesting title combination, usually separate roles, but that's what the source says, and Senator Ted Cruz.
Okay, quite the delegation.
Yeah. And the bulletin really hammers home JSC's role as the heart of America's return to the moon through Artemis and beyond.
Artemis, that's the big moon mission program.
That's the one. Landing the first woman, the next man on the moon. So JSC isn't just some government building. It's positioned as like a core piece of America's ambition in space. Yeah. National leadership.
So drilling down on that, for someone living in Deer Park or LaPorte or Pasadena, what does JSC being here and getting this kind of congressional attention actually mean day to day, beyond just feeling proud?
Well, it's more than just pride, though. That's part of it. It translates pretty directly into economic impact, jobs, right here in TX-36.
High-tech jobs, presumably?
Exactly. High-skill, often high-paying jobs. JSC anchors a whole ecosystem. Research, investment, talent attraction. It helps position our whole region as a leader.
Okay.
Think about the contractors, the support industries, the universities feeding into it. It creates this hub of innovation.
So it could influence things like property values, maybe, local businesses.
Absolutely. A strong anchor like JSC boosts the whole local economy. It can impact everything from housing demand to the quality of schools as they aim to support this national asset in our backyard.
Okay, that makes sense. So shifting from outer space to maybe more down-to-earth concerns, local commerce. The bulletin mentions a visit to the Mont Belvieu Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
What was the focus there? What kind of legislative stuff did they talk about?
Okay, so at the chamber meeting, the representative gave an update on his work in D.C., and he specifically brought up something called the One Big Beautiful Bill.
One Big Beautiful Bill. Is that its official name?
Doesn't seem like it, no. More like a descriptive phrase he used in the bulletin.
Yeah.
But he characterized it as the largest tax cut in American history.
Wow, okay. Big claim.
Yeah. And according to the bulletin, the goals were cutting red tape, protecting small businesses, and specifically supporting energy producers right here in Southeast Texas.
Energy producers. That's obviously key for our region.
Definitely. The aim mentioned was ensuring our region always has a strong voice at the table on these issues.
Now, the bulletin frames these tax cuts, supporting energy very positively for the area. But, for our listeners in Deer Park, LaPorte, Pasadena, these big legislative pushes usually have different viewpoints, right? What kind of broader economic discussions typically surround things like this?
That's a really important point. Large-scale tax cuts and deregulation, like the ones described here,
Huh.
almost always spark debates among economists.
Right.
Proponents, like you see in the bulletin's framing, argue they boost growth. Less burden on business means more investment, more jobs, potentially higher wages.
The stimulation argument.
Exactly. But critics, or just other economists, might raise concerns. They might ask about the impact on the national debt long term, or who really benefits most as it spread evenly. Does the promised growth actually show up? And specifically for our area, being so tied to energy, supporting producers can seem like a direct boost. But there are always wider conversations about, energy transitions, environmental impacts, different viewpoints on where policy should head.
So it's definitely not always simple. It's about weighing those potential benefits against other factors.
Precisely. Weighing the immediate stated goals against maybe broader or longer-term implications.
Okay. Now, still in Mont Belvieu, it wasn't just policy talk, right? There was also some local recognition.
Yeah, that's right. During that same visit, they recognized Sheriff Brian Hawthorne.
Okay.
He was recently named president of the Sheriff's Association of Texas, so a statewide leadership role.
That's significant.
It is. The bulletin highlights the local pride in his, quote, dedication, integrity, and leadership in law enforcement. And it notes the representative was honored to recognize him. It kind of showcases local leadership making waves at the state level.
So let's connect these threads. You have these legislative pushes like the tax bill discussion and then recognizing local leaders like Sheriff Hawthorne. How does this stuff translate into, better conditions or more opportunities specifically for people living in Deer Park, LaPorte, or Pasadena?
Well, let's take the policy part first. Things like tax cuts or support for key local industries like energy, if they work as intended by proponents, are meant to boost the overall economic health of Southeast Texas.
Okay.
A healthier regional economy generally means more jobs, maybe better wages, businesses feeling confident enough to expand or invest locally. That benefits everyone.
So the rising tide idea.
Kind of. If local businesses keep more earnings, the theory is they reinvest, hire more people from the community, and recognizing leaders like the sheriff. That's maybe less direct, but it boosts community pride, morale within local services. It signals that public service is valued.
Right.
And that can indirectly contribute to feeling safer, feeling like the community is well managed, which helps attract people and investment to places like Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena.
Okay, got it. Now, beyond the big picture economy, the bulletin also zoomed in on supporting small business. There was a visit to the Stump restaurant mentioned.
Yes. That visit was used to highlight a specific part of that one big, beautiful bill again.
Which part was that?
The provision for no tax on tips or overtime.
No tax on tips or overtime. Okay, that sounds pretty direct.
It's presented exactly that way, as a huge win for workers and small business owners, like the restaurant owner, Mike Taylor. The bulletin says it helps families keep more of their earnings, keeps local businesses strong.
That does seem like a very tangible benefit for a lot of working people in our communities. But, digging a bit deeper, are policies like no tax on tips always straightforward? Or are there usually some nuances, maybe different impacts we should think about?
That's a fair question. On the surface, yeah, workers keeping their full tips sounds great. Small businesses might like happier staff or maybe more flexibility.
Right.
But there can be layers. For the business owner like Mike Taylor, there might be administrative hurdles, adjusting payroll, new reporting rules,
Practical stuff.
practical stuff. And some economists might look at the bigger picture. How does it affect overall tax revenue for government services? Could it unintentionally lead to changes in base wages over time or even menu prices for consumers? So while the bulletin presents a clear win-win, most policy changes ripple out in ways that might affect different people or sectors differently, even within Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena. It's good to keep that wider lens.
Absolutely. Always good to consider the full picture. Okay, so from supporting small businesses, the bulletin then shifts focus to cracking down on crime.
Right. This involved a visit to the Beaumont Police Department.
And what was highlighted there?
Specifically, their real-time crime center. Representative Babin visited it, and the bulletin describes it as a state-of-the-art center.
Okay, real-time crime center. What does that actually do?
It's basically a technology hub. The bulletin says it helps officers track, prevent, and respond to crime in real time, using tech to boost law enforcement effectiveness.
It makes you wonder, though, that its center is in Beaumont. How does advanced tech there specifically help someone in, say, LaPorte or Pasadena feel safer? Or does it actually prevent crime in our neighborhoods? What kind of tech are we even talking about?
That's a good point about the location. But the idea is that enhanced capabilities in one part of the region can have a broader effect.
How so?
Well, if law enforcement can track criminals more effectively, share information faster, maybe identify patterns across a wider area, that makes the entire region less appealing for criminal activity.
Ah, okay. A deterrent effect, maybe.
Potentially, yeah. And the tech itself. These centers often use things like widespread CCTV cameras, maybe with AI analytics, to spot things. License plate readers are common, gunshot detection systems, and big data systems that pull together information for officers really quickly.
So it's about giving police better information faster.
Exactly. Helping them be more proactive, not just reactive, and respond smarter when things do happen. The goal stated is making Beaumont and Southeast Texas safer places to live, work, and raise a family, and that safety net is meant to extend across the area, including Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena.
Okay, so pulling all these pieces together, what's the big takeaway for our listeners? We've talked about NASA, local chambers, tax policy discussions, small business support, crime centers.
Yeah, quite a range.
It seems clear that what our federal representatives focus on, especially during times like the recess when they're physically back here, is meant to connect directly to our local well-being.
Right. This bulletin, it's like a snapshot, isn't it? It shows how those big national goals, tax reform, space leadership, public safety, get translated and communicated through a local lens.
And how they're presented as impacting things we care about: jobs, the economy, feeling safe in our neighborhoods.
Exactly. It's illustrating the connection, or the intended connection, between Washington actions and the reality on the ground in Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena.
So this deep dive really underscores why staying informed about what your representatives are doing, what they're prioritizing, is valuable.
Yeah, it gives you insights into the forces shaping your community.
It's about getting that specific, actionable information so you can understand the landscape better and then, think and act locally with more impact.
And maybe consider this.
Mhm.
How does understanding these links between the federal level and your local street empower you? How can you use that understanding to engage more effectively on issues you care about right here?
That's a great thought to leave people with. Now, if you found value in this discussion today and in the information we bring to help residents of Deer Park, LaPorte, and Pasadena,
We hope you did.
please consider supporting us. You can find the link at thinkandactlocally.com/donate. It's also right there in the show notes.
And we genuinely want your feedback on this deep dive. Did it help? What else would you like us to explore? You can email us at david@thinkandactlocally.com.